I thought it was time to update on the fall crops and how they're doing. This is a clip of how everything looked right before all the really cold weather hit. As you can see, a lot of things are growing out of the top of the straw bales. I used the cut and come again method when harvesting our lettuce, and as you can see, some of it's starting to grow back pretty well and is ready to be harvested again. The two things that seem to grow the fastest are the kale and the arugula. Even the carrot tops are starting to grow pretty tall. Most of the roots aren't very large yet, but they're very sweet. Carrots are sweeter when harvested in cold weather. I also planted some lettuce in a couple of grow bags, but this lettuce won't make it once the temperatures start getting into the 20s and teens at night. So the lettuce will need to be harvested before the really cold weather hits. I also planted some more cilantro, and that should be fine even in the colder weather. I even have some fall beets that are ready to be harvested. Not far from the beets, in the middle of October, I planted some garlic. I normally plant garlic from the grocery store, but this year I decided to plant some variety. The first type is Italian artichoke. Next is a variety called Persian Star. Then we have some elephant garlic, and right next to it is some Bavarian purple. It was a lot later coming up than some of the other varieties. Another type that was slow to sprout was the German white porcelain. And the last variety I have growing is Purple Glazer. We've had a few freezes already. I covered up the more sensitive bananas. I left out the Yacon here and the Musabash Jew to be covered later. As you can see, the Musabash Jew bananas are trying to grow back after I cut them down. And some of them are actually starting to form leaves again. Some of you might remember the chives that I had growing in one of the grow bags. I took several clumps of that and transplanted them around our garden. I also transplanted some of the oregano, and I'm not sure how that's going to do through the colder weather, but we'll see. There are a few snap pea pods that can be harvested before the really cold weather hits. Then this pea plant will die. Another plant that should do fine during the colder weather is the parsley. And right next to it is some earlier cilantro that's actually trying to bolt. I kept this potted pepper alive during the colder weather by putting it in the garage at night. But it's going to be so cold now that that won't even help, so I'm going to harvest these peppers and get the seeds. For the last week or so, the weather here has been in the 30s and 40s during the day and 20s and upper teens during the night. Or in Celsius, that would be about 1.6 to 7.2 during the day and minus 3.8 to minus 7.7 during the night. Because it was going to be so cold before the cold weather hit, I decided to cover everything up with some clear plastic and try to extend the season as long as I could. Before I covered everything, I trimmed things up a little bit so they would fit a little bit better under the plastic, starting with the carrot tops. After I trimmed the carrot tops, I also harvested some kale and arugula so that would fit better. While I was harvesting things, I decided to go ahead and harvest our Tokanashi turnips that I had growing in a 10-gallon grow bag. They really came out nicely, I think. I'm not a huge fan of turnips, but we ate some of these recently, and as far as turnips go, I think these are my favorite. Harvesting after a few freezes helped these to be just a little bit sweeter also. If you're a fan of turnips, I think this variety is well worth trying. Here's a quick look at them after I got them all pulled. These were very easy to grow and did well in our 10-gallon grow bag. Before the really cold weather hit, I also went ahead and covered up the Musabash Jew bananas. When I covered the fall crops with plastic, I added weight around the edges so the wind wouldn't blow it off or the snow or rain wouldn't cause it to collapse. We did get a little snow, but not enough to do any damage. Snow actually helps a lot of plants because it provides moisture and insulation from extreme cold. As you can see, these young cilantro plants are covered by the snow, but it won't harm them at all. It will actually help them. It'll also help out the garlic that we planted in mid-October. Let us know if you have anything still growing, and if you're just now finding this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.